Hello, my loves. I'm Jasmine again, and I'm back to host the third episode of Lamin Cast. I didn't think that I would be the host again with the stress I had during the performance of the previous episode, but I am very happy now. First, let me say that from this episode onwards, we are going to hold a survey that you have 1 week to answer. Sometimes we conduct polls, sometimes we ask questions and put the link in the podcast caption and publish it on social networks. But what makes me excited to do this podcast is the guest who is going to talk to me, and that is Tommy, the co-founder of Lamin. Let's start the discussion. Hello, Mr. Thomas. Do you want to speak first?
Hello, my dear Jasmine. Thank you for inviting me. Wow, you chose a beautiful place for this conversation.
Oh, thank you. We found out you were in Brooklyn for a meeting and decided to record this episode at a nice cafe by the East River.
I am now sitting on the hot seat and I would like you to ask me any questions you have or the users have, because I want this to be my first and last conversation.
Yes, sure. Can I just be more sincere with you?
Yes, I am the same Tommy we talked to in the company.
Great, thank you. First, I will ask some personality questions so that our followers can get to know you better. The first part of the body that is activated before birth is the ear. So my first question is, what kind of music do you like?
I mainly listen to instrumental music, and I think that music evolved in the Baroque period by German musicians, and then it just repeated itself until jazz music was created. So I think I clearly said what music I listen to.
Yes, exactly. But unlike you, I love electronic club and trance music because it gives me energy to exercise. But the next question is about whether you like to exercise. If yes, what sport?
The truth is that no, but I enjoy watching Taekwondo fights because my father was also a Taekwondo coach, but I didn't have enough talent.
I think I should be friends with your father because I have a Taekwondo black belt.
Oh, I think this podcast will mess up my parents' relationship.
And my last question is, what color do you use most when choosing personal items?
If you mean my favorite color, I really like green. Now that you said this is the last, I also have a question for you. In the previous episode, you said that you have a problem with the compute box and you feel that it is difficult to work with it. You are a member of our user interface design team, and if you are included in this project, what would you do to improve it?
Oh my God! I think I need to look for a new job after this podcast.
No, don't worry. This is just a question to get ideas from you.
I am aware of the ideas of our dedicated web apps think tank. And I know that the main goal is to create a toolbox of basic web apps with simple functionality. But in the case of Compute Box, except for number separator, I would have added specialized engineering tools, mathematical solver, and a graph plotter. But the main problem that arises with this idea is how to implement it in different gadgets, especially smartphones.
Are you talking about responsiveness or processing?
I am a designer, so I focus on solving the crisis of responsive user interface.
Thank you. This was the best answer. Now that I am your only guest in this episode, aren't you bored?
Not only am I not bored, but my heart is full of excitement. Now, in my opinion, I want to ask the most important question of this podcast regarding Lamin app that I am talking about among my friends. What is being said is that compared to the official stores of different platforms such as Google Play Store, App Store, etc., why should the user choose Lamin app? I am talking about the advantages and differences of Lamin app, but this question is also for me.
It is too early to answer this question because the concept of platforms is changing. Every smart platform will be accepted by users with applications in 2022. So developers must develop their own application for all platforms to cover the needs of all users of all platforms for the success of their technical and business ideas. Until 2 years ago, discussing this issue for developers meant a very difficult and expensive development, but major platforms such as Android, iOS, Windows, various Linux distributions, etc., decided to interact according to the new unwritten rules of technology. And they even directed the development tools to become cross-platform, so we can't talk about platform competition like before.
Does that mean Lamin app is also a bridge to connect different platforms?
Yes. All web applications follow the general rules of the web, and any platform that supports modern browsers will also run web apps. So, developers have developed a cross-platform application by developing a web app, but this is not all. And the correct supply of a manufactured product can be the reason for their success. Failure to properly market and sell a great product in a good store will kill that good product. Lamin will play the role of a store that completes the cycle of production, supply, sale, and use by the user.
And what after that?
We have a lot of plans that maybe now is not the right time to talk about it, but not everything boils down to a PWA store. We are currently completing a huge database of web apps and their users.
One issue that I also have experience with as a user is the use of third-party app stores. But the point that becomes important is the security of the app store itself and its content. While there are not many reliable third-party app stores, such as Amazon App Store, Epic Games Store, etc., what do we plan and what did we do to reassure users and even developers?
It was around the end of 2017 that our team started an extensive research on gaining trust by applications and platforms. If I want to say it in a general and brief way, when the user distrusts an application or platform, when the identity of the developer is unclear, the business plan is unclear, there are unauthorized permissions, and the device is full of advertisements. And it is also important to know the identity of the platform that the developer intends to interact with. For this reason, our team and the projects we are doing have been registered legally, and even the contact information and identity of the founders have been publicly published. The content presented in Lamin is fully authenticated by approved developers according to our internal rules, and all web apps that are indexed in Lamin are linked to the source web app at the time of execution. Therefore, the identity and authenticity of Lamin is publicly and legally available.
And you said business plan. As far as possible, what is Lamin's revenue generation method?
Yes, sure. First, I have to explain how to attract capital. We reached our desired target within 2 years through decentralized financial crowdsourcing. And by merging it with me and my brother's funds, we implemented the financial structure and shares of Lamin. And we defined a 5-year deadline for investment return after R&D phase, and then it was approved by investors. Lamin is currently in the research and development phase. One of the most common ways to make money when you have a popular platform is to offer ads. Like a TV channel that is broadcasting a popular football match, it has the possibility of effective advertising. But in software platforms, displaying ads is one of the most nerve-wracking experiences that can come to the end user, and cause the user to leave that platform. So I guarantee that we will never bother our users with advertisements until the end of the research and development phase.
Wow, that's great, because whenever YouTube ads are broadcast, I shout obscenities to the whole world. Can I ask one more question if you don't mind?
I'm not tired at all. Of course, I don't smoke marijuana like someone do while recording podcasts, but I like caffeine a lot.
Well, as a user, I was confused. What information about me is stored in Lamin servers? And is my personal information misused for business like Facebook?
Thank you for asking your questions so clearly. Currently, as it is clear, no user needs to register to use Lamin, and since access to the internet and all websites is free, we should not charge a fee to provide web-based services. Therefore, apart from the hardware information of users entering our servers, which is based on GDPR rules, common information such as geographical IP, the type of device they use, and the date of entering the server, we do not receive any personal information from users, and we do not receive any of this in any way. We do not use the information except for general monitoring.
And what is Lamin app planning to enter the world of blockchain and Web3?
In fact, if I give a definitive answer, we don't have Ace to reveal. But one of the most important ways of financial exchange between the user who buys the service, web app, etc., and the developer or content provider happens through cryptocurrency. I can't explain more than this.
I also agree that I don't want to spoil you. Well, I have nothing more to say. I just want to say that this episode was very good for me with Thomas, and the time for this episode is over. Thank you for listening to us. Goodbye.
I had a great time with my dear Jasmine. We are going to have lunch because we are very hungry. Bye.